Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. And as I explained yesterday, we have a cupcake house to colour today, which is quite an interesting idea, isn't it? Now, how would you not eat it if you lived in it? Maybe it's not actually made of cake. Right, let's just move down and across. There we are. So we have cupcake, lots of windows, lots of icing and some lollipops in the garden. It's rather fun, isn't it? Right, so cake. That's what I'm going to start with. I think the golden ochre might be the place to start. That's our number 16. We're using Staedtler Design Journey pencils. So I'm going to just do this. Now, I want some yellow light coming from the windows of our house, so I need this to look a little bit browner, really, that rather than yellow. And at the moment, this is quite a yellowy colour. What I'm going to do is only put down one layer of this and then layer up some other colours on top to try and make it look a little bit more cake-like. At the moment, it just looks yellow. You could make this look more like a wrapper rather than just a cake, because you know, a cupcake doesn't normally just come as is. It's normally got some sort of case on it. So if you would rather do, you know, I would be tempted to do like red and white stripes or something like that, so it's really obvious what you're trying to do, that you're trying to create a wrapper. Right, we now have the number 49, which I need to sharpen. Apparently I need to drop my sharpener. There we go. Now this is our darker colour, 49. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious with it because I don't want to make it too dark. So I'm thinking just put a little bit darker on the edge here. You know, you think of a cake, it's usually a little bit dark on the edges, but I'm just going to gently colour a bit over everywhere, but not make it too dominant and dark, if you know what I mean. And I'm hoping it might look a little bit more cakey. What we really need is a beige, but many sets don't have beiges. Prismacolors have good beige, and Holbein, as I've just discovered, having recently been gifted some Holbeins. Yeah, they have beige, but most sets don't. A few pastel sets have a sort of beigey colour, but not all do. Some pastel sets don't have any browns at all. A little bit dark on the bottom maybe. I'm still not convinced that looks like cake. Let me see what I've got. What can I do? I am going to grab the 76. Now this is a really dark brown, and I'm just going to add a touch. I feel like it needs to be browner rather than orange. Just going to give it a sharpen. Now beware, when you're using a sharp pencil, it's going to be more vibrant and intense. You need to be careful, but I want to get into every area, so I'm holding it quite far down and on its side so that I can just put down the lightest layer. And I'm going to go quite slowly and concentrate. Now it almost doesn't look like I'm putting very much down. That is the point. Because I don't want it to look sort of black and dirty, but just a little bit browner. It's quite tricky actually, because I've got no idea what colour cake is. I haven't had cake for so long. I'm going to put under here. What you could do, of course, I'm just marking in this shadow, is you can make it really dark and make it look like chocolate cake. That would probably be a bit easier. But once I've done this sort of shadow under here, which I hope you can see, I'm going to put some dots and lines on the surface, because a cake has like little air bubbles and things in it, and I hope that might make it look a little bit more cake-like. Or it might just look like it's got weird dots and lines on it, or that it's got chicken pox, but you know. There we go. I'm going to leave that there. Now, thinking about the windows, now obviously cakes don't have windows, I think we'll just go bright. I'm just going to go with the bright yellow, which is number 110. Find it there. Is it that? No, I think it's out of order in my tin. Yeah, here it is, 110. I'm just gonna do that. Get them quite bright. No, I'm not sure about that door. I'll think about that later. I'll see what colour balances things later. I think that's the plan. Also thinking about this sort of bush. Now, do we colour that like it's some candy floss or cotton candy? Like pink? Or usually it's pink, isn't it? Or do we just do it in a sort of standard green colour? Or do we make it in a sort of more pink, minty sort of green, so it looks a bit more sweet-like, if you know what I mean? Not sure. My head's playing with those questions while we think about icing. Now, icing, we have lots of options really. Icing can come in a variety of colours. Pink is the obvious one. We used a lot of pink yesterday, so I'm sort of a bit reticent to use lots of pink again today. We could go for a cream colour, which is where I'm sort of heading at the moment. We've got a peach in this set, but I don't often see peach icing. We could go for chocolate, actually. Yeah, I'm thinking chocolate. Let's start with the light brown, number 7. Oh, let's go for chocolate. Now we've got the sprinkles. Want to avoid colouring on the sprinkles if we can. However, if you do accidentally go over them, don't worry too much. If you've got a Posca pen, you could do them in Posca. You know, if you've got the pastel coloured Poscas, that would work quite well. I'm just going to do a layer of this. I think I'm going to need to go over it with a darker colour, because I think this is slightly too orangey to be chocolate, but I think it will be a good base. So, but we also need to put in a few shadows in places like under here where it's sort of layered up, so we can do that too. But what I think I'm going to do is put in this initial layer, then do the sprinkles, then do a darker layer. I think that might be slightly easier for me to do it that way around. Now, of course, as I said, you don't have to do this colour. You can go for pink. You can do a sort of cream as if it's just a cream, you know, like a plain buttercream. Cream is quite difficult to find the right colour, I find. Depends on what pencils you're using. There are creams in, excuse me, I've got hiccups. There are creams in some sets. Not really in this one. In this set I tend to have to use the light yellow and just, or the light ochre is even better, and just use it really lightly. Sorry, the number 117, and use that really lightly, but it doesn't show up very much. So it's that's another reason why don't always like to do it. If I'm doing like a picture with loads of different ice creams or lots of different layers with different colours of cream, then I might do a cream coloured one. Just so, but because it's mixed in with others, it sort of works better, I think, somehow. It sort of can stand out. Of course, you could do each layer of this in a different colour. You could do a strawberry, a raspberry, a chocolate, a vanilla. That sort of thing. Now we've also got dots on here. You could do those dots in different coloured Posca pens to make it look like it's got sprinkles. I wouldn't just go dot though, I would do a round dot more like this sort of size, so it looks more like a sprinkle rather than just a dot. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I don't know if I turned the video off in time, but anyway, sorry. I thought I was going to sneeze when I was in the supermarket. Just got to the till and I thought I was going to sneeze, but I didn't, luckily. That was a lovely lady on the till, but anyway, I still didn't want to sneeze all over. Right, now I'm going to, oh, sprinkles I said I would do next. I am. Now, what sort of colours? Well, I'm thinking a mixture of different colours. So you can do whatever you like. really. I'm going to grab the 29 and do a few of these sorts of pinky reds. I'm going to go brights. You can go pastels, as I said, but I'm thinking sugar strands are often bright, so I'm going to go for an orange. I think I'll go for the number 4, though this isn't quite as bright, it's a bit neony. And I'm sort of doing one on each layer. Now we need a yellow. Should we use the window yellow? This is the brightest one. Yeah, 110. Might not put one on that top layer though. Oh, sorry. Then a green. What should we use? Maybe 5. It's really short, my 5. I'm just going to sharpen. I use it a lot. My greens are the shortest, as always. But I've got a few spares. I've got one spare of 5. Unfortunately, these aren't available open stock anymore. The Ergosoft used to be from some places. I'm going to do a purpley colour next. I'm thinking. Oops. The 62. The Colt pens used to sell the Ergosoft soap in stock, but they don't anymore, and it's sad. We've got 3 left. I'm going to do them in a bright pink, I think 20. Now obviously if you've done your icing in pink, then you don't want to do pink sprinkles as well, they won't really show up. Right, now I'm going for my darker brown. I've got 77. Give it a sharpen. Oh, sorry. 77. While I'm doing this, I'm thinking about this smoke. I've just caught my eye. I think I'm going to go over everything. Maybe, I don't know, actually. I'm just going to see how it pans out. Yeah, the smoke, I was thinking, are we going to do it grey, like smoke, or are we going to do it a bit more magical? Because it's got these stars around it. I mean, the stars could just be that it's night time, but they could be that there's magic afoot. Johanna does like her stars, doesn't she? But I'm not sure. I don't think it's massively important. It just needs a decision, which I seem to be incapable of making. So while I am colouring this, what I'm doing is I'm making sure going darker on the edges more so, and filling in any gaps that I can see. I'm going over all of the centre bit there, but just lightly, so I can see that I've missed a few areas completely. So there, for example, that's why it's nice to do the sprinkles next, and then you can identify any areas that you've missed on this second layer. You can do more than 2 layers. Depends how heavy-handed you are as to how many layers you might need to get an intense enough colour. I tend to try not to be too heavy-handed. I think because I've been colouring for a long time and I colour a lot, I don't get cramp in my hands so much, so I can push a bit harder, and the muscles are, you know, a bit more used to it, and I have to be a bit careful that I'm not doing it too hard. Right, I'm quite happy with that, but I am thinking about this chimney. I've got the stripe here, and I'm thinking, is that one of those chocolate biscuits that's got a stripe of brown and light brown? That's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to use this one to do there and here. Try and get that lined up down the middle like that, and then use the 7, which we use for the roof as well, for the other bits. I think it will tie in nicely. And for this bit, and the little shadowy bit should hopefully help to make it look a little bit more like it's a rounded item. Right, now I'm thinking we need some more colour. It's quite dull. Our sprinkles aren't standing out and giving us the splash of colour that I was hoping for. So we're going to do that with down here. So I'm going to do our bush in, I'm actually going to do it in greens. This is the 57. I'm going to do a few darker areas in this, like this. Just sort of round areas so that it looks like we've got some texture in our bush. And then 56, which is a slightly lighter version, and fill in some of those gaps and add in some more sort of bushy texture like this, and then finish with the 17 to just bring everything together, fill in those gaps, hopefully keeps it light and bright. There we go. Now I was thinking about doing this lollipop in red and white, but I think we could actually do with more colour. I don't want to leave any sections white. So I am going to do some red though. So this is $2.99. Gosh, that's hard to see. Anyway, so I'm going to go here now. Probably going to try and do it a bit dark on the outside. We can get 3 here. But instead of putting a white in there, I'm going to put a green in. I'm going to use number, what's this, 50. So here is our 50. Do these sections in a bright green. And then I was thinking over here we could get a bright orange. This one's quite bright, number 42. It's quite neon-y actually. I'm going to do this little one here. I'm going to try and fade it towards the middle, but I might not quite manage it, but there we go. Now this one I'm thinking maybe a lemon and something. Let's find the lemon. Is that the lemon? Yeah, number 12 is our lemon. It's a slightly orange, greeny yellow. Put that at the top. Now it's sort of, I'm feeling it should be green, but I don't want to use green again or orange again. I don't want to use blue. Ugh. And I don't think, would purple work? Maybe. Let's try it. You might not like this. Number 6. I am also thinking here about the door. I'm thinking maybe a blue door, because we haven't got any blue, because candy isn't usually blue. So let's do a blue door. Let's go something bright again. This is number 30. Need to sharpen it. I'm going to keep the handle the same colour. I coloured the door the other day, and I coloured the door wooden and made the handle red, and it just looked really weird. But it was fine. The red matched the roof, but it just looked wrong, so I'm going to keep it the same colour. Now, whoops, our smoke and stars. Now stars are interesting. You can go for all sorts of colours. You can go for a silver or a gold. You can use your pens or whatever. I am going to use this colour, 11. This is the sand, and I'm just going to block them in. Now you can try and make a gold with pencils. I've got videos on how to do that with a star, but these are so small that I'm just going to fill them in. The dots I'm going to do in a silvery grey. The 80, and I'm tempted to do the, I think I'm going to do this smoke in a grey as well, but maybe a slightly lighter cool grey. So we have 800, I think it's this one, yeah, 800 is our cool grey. It's quite light. I think it'll work. It won't look too polluting, which we don't want it to look dirty, but it will just show up a little bit from the page. Now you can do a sort of curly effect, like in the video I did. You may may not have seen it where I showed you how to do wool. You could use that effect to make a sort of curl in it to make it look more, I think we'll do it. I'll show you. So we're going to go back to the 80 and we're going to do a rounded like this to try and give it a bit of cloud-like fluffiness. You don't have to join in with this. See what you think. You might prefer it to not stand out quite so much. There we go. Now I'm going to finish with a white pen. I want to add a little bit of shine to a few items. So it's my Jelly Roll 8 and I'm going to start the chimney down there, and then on the edge of our icing, trying to get the pen to work. There we go. It wants to work upwards, not downwards. Let's just scribble it a bit. There's a little bit of a blockage going on there. That's better. If you scribble it on some scrap paper, it helps a lot. I'm going to put a few shiny bits on the dribbly areas, and then I'm going to put some dots. Where we've got these black dots, I'm just going to add some white dots. I think it will just brighten it a bit. I don't know what they are, but there they are. We're going to put a bit of shine on the lollipops as well. I'm not being very consistent with where it's shining. I'm just putting it on. I should have thought where's the light coming from, where's the shine, but I didn't. I just put it on. Particularly this one, I just put it on the darker bit because it wouldn't show up on the yellow. So there is our cupcake house with chocolate icing roof. Right, thank you for watching. I hope that you have a super day. Yeah, come back tomorrow. We've got an ink pot with butterflies, a bit Ivy and Inky butterfly-ish, so I'll have some fun with that one. But thank you for watching today. Hope you have a super day and happy colouring.